Hi there, welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dovston and it is our weekly overview for the week commencing the 9th of May 2022. Before we get into this week's episode, I'd like to remind you about two things. The first is that, as you know, the monthly overview is up and it is an action-packed, energy-filled month. So go and check it out if you have not yet done so and reflect on what is sprouting into your life in May. What are the new beginnings that are wanting to come and bring blessings, and the 3-part strategy I share with you in that episode of how to maximize the month. So enjoy that. The second thing is that, as I mentioned in that episode, I'm bringing back the tutorial giveaways from a few years ago. And so go along to the link below this episode, podcast or the YouTube episode, and go and follow the link to the tutorial giveaway. And the instructions are there. If you've watched the May overview, you will have heard my overview of what to expect. Go and participate and share your question that you would like to submit to the I Ching. I'll draw 4 winners at the end of May, and we'll do some tutorial videos over the time to come. So please go and share your question. Right, so last week we had the return of Hexagram 16, enthusiasm, of building up the energy, of building up the battery, of getting ready to act spontaneously when the time comes. And we had this interesting changing line saying, be careful of being the elephant, trumpeting out and bleating until you lose all your energy, bleating about how good we are, or bleating about how we need support and everyone must rally to help us when we have the ability to do it ourselves. So less noise, more action was a key theme for last week, along with shake-ups, change, and sudden and unexpected twists and turns coming to clear the air and get us moving and get us out of the doldrums and into action. So please do share if there were insights for you that came out from last week, what that meant to you. Right, so looking to this week, what is the I Ching asking us to pay attention to this week as we continue the story of sprouting and new beginnings? Well, we have an interesting combo this week, okay? We have Hexagram 18, work on what has been spoiled. This hexagram is also called corruption, okay? And the story of this hexagram, what it is asking us to pay attention to, what it's telling us, is that there is an area of our life or our business where the seeds of weeds have sprouted and the weeds are now here. Okay, there's an area of life where we've let things go. Okay, this could be our physical bodies, our health, our daily rituals, our taxes, our admin, our organized and orderly relationships, whatever it might be. It's an area of the past that has been slowly decaying and has not been attended to, has not had the energy that it needs. The garden has been left to get weedy and untidy, and chaos has entered into the situation. What was neat and orderly has become corrupted. Okay, so that sounds pretty dramatic, but what we might do is look back into our lives and look at an area where there is disorder. If you were to visualize the different aspects of your life, which area of your life is filled with weeds? And that will be potentially an area where your attention is drawn this week, where the I Ching is asking you to focus on eliminating corruption. Now, we might think that this is just a physical thing, okay? Where is there disorder in our physical lives? Where are we going to Marie Kondo our lives, right? But the corruption and the disorder can also be the falling apart of the infrastructures of our life. The unraveling of the scaffolding that holds our life together, holds our focus together. There can be internal, emotional, and mental areas where corruption has crept in, where our thinking has become corrupted. Like code, right, has got a little glitch, and there's this little loop that's running with a glitch. And what we have to do is we have to scratch in there, and we have to tidy it up, and we have to work it, and we have to put energy in to get rid of the glitch so that what is necessary, the right code, can flow, okay, using an IT term. Okay, so that is our focus for this week, of looking for this corruption. And the 2 changing lines we have for this week give us some clues of where we can really focus our attention on the corruption. In our first changing line, the story of corruption that is being brought here is the sun. So imagine this, the sun sorting out the corruption of the father. Okay, so this refers to the corruption of authority. We might even find literally in our world stories of corruption come out or become topical or become headline news in your particular area, so just keep your eyes open for that. But where the son has to deal with the corruption of the father, the sins of the father. Okay, so symbolically what this means, issues of the past, issues of authority, and issues where there has been a rigid adherence to tradition and old ways of doing things and traditional ways of doing things has now in the present created chaos. Okay. And what we have to do as the son, symbolically in the story, is we have to sort it out. Now, luckily, if we look at the levels of corruption, it hasn't gone very deep, okay? Because changing line 1 is an emerging line. It's the beginning. So it's something that is still in its early stages, and, the root of the problem is not as deep as it could be. And so we have the opportunity to nip it out, of taking out that corruption, of that chaos, and taking it out and sorting it out. So look for where you have this chaos and look where that chaos has emerged because of rigid adherence to tradition. Okay, old ways locked in. Think about very hard locked structures, okay, that then prevent things from moving forward because they are no longer relevant. They've been put in place by the father, okay, by tradition, by the past, by hierarchy and authority, and now they are a problem. Okay, so the one of the things we need to do this week is we need to pay attention to where are we carrying on doing things the way that we have done them in the past, particularly in a business context. We have a business that's a longer term. You've got things that have been put in place by previous people that we are now following that don't necessarily make sense and are actually part of the corruption. Okay, they're the glitch. Okay, so that gives us something really nice to kind of get our teeth into this week. The next changing line in the third position says, we might be tempted to be over vigorous in ripping out the weeds, okay? And I'm sure maybe you are this person or you know someone who goes through sporadic fits of hysteria over getting rid of weeds and goes and rips and shreds and throws out clothes and goes on a pillage, and really goes hard in clearing out the weeds and kind of overdoes it, overthrows things away, overdoes the hardcoreness around getting things back into a state of order. Okay. And this week we run the risk of being that person. But the I Ching says, although that might bring some difficulties and some, embarrassment of, I took it a little bit too far, I went too far with clearing out the weeds, doing that is better than not doing that. So if you had to make a choice, rather be overzealous in clearing out the weeds than not doing it at all. Okay, so just as we work with this week, stay in balance, stay committed to getting rid of the chaos, creating order. If you go too far overboard, it's okay. It's okay. It might be a little bit of some people fallout to manage, but it's okay. It's better than not doing it. And part of that process might also be realizing, I can't believe I accepted this issue, this glitch in my life, in my business, in my team for so long. Why did I not do something about this earlier? So, when you have a problem and you finally tackle it and you realize it was not hard to remove and you think, why did I live with this problem for so long? Why did I continue to allow this corruption, this pestilence, this weed to continue to invade my life? Why did I do that? Let it go. You might feel that, but just let it go. Rather focus on getting rid of the weeds. Okay, even if we do go a little too far. Now, the second hexagram for this week, which we always read in conjunction in parallel, okay, we call it the outcome hexagram. It's how the flow is evolving, but there are two flows of parallel. We have this work in what's been spoiled, and we have this process of hexagram 41, decrease. Okay, so decrease is all about cutting down the clutter. This is the Marie Kondo hexagram, okay? This is about putting down all the expenses, the cash outflows, the energy outflows, the focus outflows that are not core and essential. Okay, they are sucking energy out of us and they are making it hard to get somewhere. So our focus this week is on cutting back. This might be re-looking at your expenses, re-looking at What can you cut back on? What can you decrease? What can you let go of? What can you put down to get laser focused on what's really important? Okay. When you look at the combination of these two hexagrams together, they immediately tell us a story. Okay. There's chaos, there's disorder, and part of that disorder is sorting out this corruption. There's two changing lines that give us something very specific to deal with. Plus, we also need to focus on decreasing. So cutting back is going to be part of this weed process. Okay, it's not just about removing weeds, it's cutting back. Okay, taking out plants that are no longer necessary or good for the ecosystem. So look at your finances, look at your energy, look at your time. Where can you decrease the things that are not adding value to you now? Where can you decrease the binging, decrease the social media, decrease whatever is your escape, okay? Decrease that and focus your energy on what's really important. Put down the expenses, get really, really lean, focus on what is happening, because you might find that in this week there's some decrease in our flow that comes with this hexagram, and it brings us a reminder we need to cut back, okay? And cutting back is not necessarily what's in the wallet, but also where our energy and our time goes. So let's be laser focused on what every minute of our time brings us, the value we can create with every moment. All right, so looking forward to seeing your questions come in for the I Ching through the link to this episode. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's really powerful to have that engagement on this channel. It really helps me. And I look forward to seeing you on the socials and, of course, seeing you soon at our next weekly episode. See you there.